Hey there, this is Death Star Killer and welcome aboard. Long before franchises took over everything, there was room for standalone one-offs or even a few that had a couple of sequels here and there, but not everything had to be a major franchise. Arnie was in his prime, as was Stallone and Willis, Van Damme, and even Seagal made a few good movies. Actually, on what I said there about franchises, what I liked about before the way it's been for the last 10 years or so is that I think back then actors and directors were the franchise. You followed what an actor did, you followed what a director did. Now I still do that, but I'm talking about the masses did that. It's not like that anymore. Tom Cruise is probably the only one still out there with a bit of clout, I think. Anyway, back to this. One of my favorites has always been Broken Arrow. And a lot of that was down to, in my opinion, the coolest villain of all, Vic Deakins. Broken Arrow is a high-concept action thriller from 1996, directed by John Woo, his second US movie after the amazing Hard Target. At the time, it would have been the usual thing for Christian Slater to be the coolest person in the movie, but not this time. Enter John Travolta on a high, coming straight from Pulp Fiction into this. Vic Deakins and Riley Hale are test pilots for stealth bombers. While doing a radar avoidance test flight with live nukes, Vic tries to kill Riley, who ejects. Then Vic tries to make it look like Riley turned bad. He then safely drops the nukes and ejects himself, allowing the stealth bomber to crash. His plan is to take the nukes, hold a city for ransom for millions. So basically, it's Thunderball in Utah.
When the day comes that we have to go to war against Utah, we're really gonna kick ass, you know?
I remember Deakins' entrance as the villain when he's meeting his men so well. I was at the cinema with my friend Derek, and we both just cracked up laughing. One of the bad guys says, "Maybe the son of a bitch is dead." And then we hear in the distance, "What a terrible thing to say," as the camera turns and in slow motion we see Travolta walking up from a hill. It's just very cool. Even the way he holds a cigarette is weird. It's very cool. It's badass. Deakins' theme music, it's brilliant, and it's by Hans Zimmer, so of course it is. Meanwhile, Riley meets up with Ranger Terry Carmichael, played by Samantha Mathis, who are forced to join forces while dodging attack helicopters to try and stop Deakins. By the way, Samantha Mathis's character is no shrinking violet. She takes part in quite a bit of the action and kicks a fair amount of ass. Anyway, I don't want to go into every detail of the movie. Like, this was always supposed to be just a video about Deakins, so let's go back to him. I have this feeling every time I watch Broken Arrow that Travolta was having an absolute blast playing that character. Deakins is full of quirky mannerisms, and I'm sure Travolta had something to do with that, if not all. The way he smokes, the way he moves, the way he looks at someone and you just know he wants to kill them, the way he delivers lines through clenched teeth. It's all gold. There are so many great lines and moments throughout the movie. Telling his men, "Would you mind not shooting at the thermonuclear weapons?" I can't do it. Killing a guy who was annoying him, who just wouldn't shut up, and then telling him to hush. Hush! Hush! There's another moment I've always loved where when everything is going wrong for him and he just decides to start the timer on the nuke, which will probably kill him, and he just says to no one in particular, "F them if they can't take a joke." There's so much fun to be had watching Deakins react to his plans being destroyed at every turn by Riley and Carmichael. I haven't even mentioned helicopters. This movie loves to blow up helicopters, and it's awesome.
Damn, what a rush!
Finally, there's Deakins' death. And what tiny character quirk just before. Deakins is on a train. He's been beaten in a fight by Riley. The train to crash, and as far as he knows, the nuke is going off no matter what. So as the train crashes, the nuke is sent flying towards him like a massive bullet. And instead of screaming or trying to jump out of the way, he just stands up and faces it, staring it down with a smirk on his face. I've always loved that. I could probably even say more about this movie because, as you can probably tell, I love it. But as this was supposed to be just a small piece on the villain, I'll leave it there. So tell me about your favourite movie villains in the comments. And what do you think about Broken Arrow and Deakins, or 90s movies in general? What did you think of this video? Would you like it if I did more videos like this on old movies I love? While I'm at it, I want to give a shout out to a great channel called The Ultimate Movie Geek, where he does movie reviews and videos on all sorts of movie related topics. In fact, that's where I got this idea from. He did a video on one of his favourite movie villains, Charles Dance in The Last Action Hero. And he himself got the idea from another guy who'd done a playlist of villain scenes from movies. I think he's called Nando vs. Movies. If you search one villainous scene on YouTube, you'll see the playlist. Hopefully I can get this video into it, even though I spoke about way more than one villainous scene. Anyway guys, until the next time, this is Death Star Killer, signing off.